you're going to have a hard time challenging him at the rim. So this
by Gary Clark gives him 6 points. Whistle blown here on the cut. George Hill fouled as he came down the paint.
has become something of a lost art in the NBA. You don't see too many guys cut away from the ball. Avery Bradley, a great cutter in LA. Dante DiVincenzo, one of the best cutters in this league at a young age, and he gets an easy bucket on the one we showed.
Terrence Ross firing the threes at the hot hand, not that time. So, Coach, you want efficiency? How about this for Giannis today? 11 of 12 shooting, 2 of 3 from deep. There's a whistle blown here. We'll give it back.
Up there. Gary Clark was going to go under that screen. Brook Lopez never came to a stop.
Augustine bottled up by Lopez, who was just called for his third personal. Vucevic. And a guy who has maxed out his potential and has had some very big postseason moments over the years. 17-point game, and Augustine. And that point, last 9 minutes, Bucks have been outscored 36-17.
Well, Orlando's still fighting hard as Bledsoe makes a three. It's so hard because, and a great job there by Orlando. Bledsoe veered back to take away Vucevic's three.
So takes a hard fall. Kind of got his right.
Fall from 1 inch off the ground. Spiro, the chance of a major injury is slim. It's
point taken.
At my best, maybe a couple.
Vucevic on a straightaway three, that won't go. So it's still a 15-point game, still plenty of time, 7:47 to play. In this fourth quarter, Mike Budenholzer staying with his starters. Matthews, good ball movement, extra feed. This is Middleton. Good calls, Augustine.
An unselfish play like we talked about with the Bucks, but he just missed it.
Terrence won a game.
It's amazing what the Magic have done here. Totally undermanned, getting blown out, and stay in the fight right here.
Involved in that little altercation, both sent back to their hotel rooms for early showers. It's been DJ Augustine in the second half, Nikola Vucevic in the first half for Orlando, and this man, Terrence Ross, leading three-pointer, won't go. Augustine, 21 points, 7 of 10 shooting off the bench. Here comes Adetokounmpo into the corner. Ford Lopez, that's a three.
So hard again. Giannis on the drive. 4 3-point shoot everywhere. That's what makes him so dangerous.
6:30 to play, fourth quarter, game 3. With this series even at a game apiece. Also, how tough and gritty that they've been. Boy, Fournier kind of got his leg pulled up on with Adetokounmpo diving for the basketball, but such a depleted Orlando roster. We mentioned all the guys that aren't here.
Look at
Isaac
this
and Gordon.
Gets out there, pressures, dives, and then beats Fournier to the floor. I think the referee on that should be the guard comes off. The big is laid back in the paint now, takes the guard going to the rim, and Bledsoe veers back to take away that three-pointer that Vucevic had been getting in the first 2 games and early tonight. So they're going to veer back on those pick and rolls.
16 points for Brook Lopez. One-time All-Star back in 2013. Augustine around a pick. It's a tough off-balance flick. And a rebound by Giannis. Here comes the MVP to the basket. 30 minutes.
Well, that's pretty typical of this Milwaukee team. No one plays big minutes on this team in a normal game. Giannis leading the way at just over 30 minutes a game. All 13 guys, sometimes a 14th guy at times during the year, they're all going to get their time.
To the Year award, did it in Atlanta back in the 14-15 season. And then last year, as he guided this Bucks team to a 60-win campaign. How far can they get here in 2020? That is Bledsoe.
Switch. Vucevic ends up on the much quicker Bledsoe and can't contain him off the dribble.
Augustine is in a hot hand today, not that time. And a rebound by DiVincenzo. So Milwaukee led by 34 at the end of the third. Then Orlando went on a 42-20 run. Cut the deficit actually down to 12 points before Milwaukee punched back. Augustine ahead of the field. Kick out pass intercepted by Bledsoe. Slip past the 4-minute mark, fourth quarter, as Bledsoe steps into a three and hits.
Opened it back up to 20. Just so many important injuries in the Eastern Conference, especially in the playoff teams. You know, Boston loses Gordon Hayward, Philly loses Ben Simmons. Indiana's played this entire time in the seeding games and in the playoffs without their best player, Sabonis. And then we've already talked about both Brooklyn and Orlando have been absolutely decimated with injuries. The healthy teams left are at the top with Milwaukee and Toronto.
Ersan Ilyasova has checked into the game. That's a three-pointer from Korver. Stan, you miss this time of year, you know, the grind of a postseason series. You really lock in with your staff game to game, the adjustments.
The excitement of it. There's nothing better in the NBA than playoff basketball.
Here's B.J. Johnson orchestrating the offense. And the mid-range jumper won't go, so both teams will empty their benches here for the final 2 and change. Milwaukee will take a 2-1 series lead and will start to make preparations for Game 4 coming up on Monday night. Robin Lopez hook shot won't go. At least for a couple of days, and maybe for the rest of this round, those questions that were being asked of the Milwaukee Bucks will start to dissipate.
In this second half, Steve Clifford said to Rebecca Harlow at halftime, he just wanted his team to compete, that they didn't think they competed in the first half. They weren't able to overcome a 20s competed in this second half. You know, they're going to need to do it for a full 48 minutes to have a chance to beat a Bucks team, but they can at least be proud of what they did here in the second half. This isn't a team that just let it go.
So that three-point shot from Markelle Fultz, even in a game like this, that has to feel good for the young man. Of course, everything he went through with that shoulder injury, that freak issue ailment that he had with the shoulder, had to basically reteach himself. Coach had to shoot a basketball, still has to go through an extensive stretching process every time he steps onto the floor. Talking about Fultz, the former #1 overall pick of the 76ers back in 17. It was just amazing. Steve Clifford told us before the game, 13 months ago, he couldn't even shoot a basketball from the free throw line.
I used to say to guys all the time in situations like this, there's no such thing as garbage time. Every second you're out on the floor, you're being evaluated as a player, not only by the team you're playing for, but by everybody else in the NBA. So